James Plays Game.
That's me!
Hey everybody, welcome back to James Plays Uru Complete Chronicles. I've taken a breath and everything's fine now. Everything is good. I'm not angry and upset and all that like I was last time. We're in a really good place right now. I'm feeling really good about just kidding. I'm so angry with this game. Okay, so you see all the crabs are gone. We shooed them off of the world. And there's no signs of life except for us being tracked on this thing, right? So I went into the water. I tried to hide, being in the water, it wasn't lighting up as far as I could tell. And so I thought, okay, there were no lights on. I thought I confirmed that. Maybe I was wrong. Hard to actually look at this while you're swimming. And then I thought, okay, this is pointing there. Maybe I need to be there. Where is there exactly? Couldn't figure that out. Went to the universal hint system, and it really takes a long time to get you to the answer, which is good, but I just wasn't having it. Here's what we need to do. We need to specifically use this book to warp out. And now we're back in this chamber. You remember this chamber? Now, we click on this. Go back to where we were. And oh, it's different now. It's the only way we can make it different is by using that book. So now we have little crystal trees, and there's no more water. And yeah. So in the universal hint system, it was telling me that in the Watcher's Sanctuary, which is this place, one of Simpson's books gives us the information on what needs to be done, more or less. It's not explicit, it's implied. And we actually did read this book, I'm pretty sure. I'm just checking to see if there is more than one book. So, just wondering. Okay. Looks like that is, in fact, the only book. We read this so long ago. Like, so at the start of the game so long ago. So, he's talking about the Watcher Sanctuary at the moment. Pretty simple at first glance, doesn't have much to it. There's actually more than meets the eye. We need to refresh ourselves on what is here, because now it's going to be relevant for this point in the game. For figuring stuff out, I guess. So, let's skim through, okay? The circular room with a number of doorways leading off in each direction. Large staircase leads to an upper level. And then he goes off on a tangent, right? The tree off of the balcony. I can't see it well, but it's an old tree. tree off the balcony, you say? Let us go and try to confirm. Is this the tree? Am I looking at a tree right now? Let's say we are. Okay. An old tree, don't know when it was created. Certain style, material, elements, 2000s. Long before the Watcher came around. And it's the Watcher that it was created for. This Watcher Sanctuary was created for the Watcher before the Watcher ever showed up. Okay? A book called Words. Just the one book. We may have to go revisit our bookshelf at home. Okay? So the tree, which you don't know how to get to. Okay, so Kadish now comes up. Kadish kind of takes over the sanctuary. Then he hasn't moved in the past few minutes. He's standing in a building giving an analysis of it without moving. Gotta love history. Okay. Just kind of doing my best to skim what else we might need to get. So now the Watcher talks about the grower. Kadish viewed himself as the grower. Okay. As a result, he modified the pub to honor not only the prophet, but himself as well. He seemed to be intent on fulfilling as many prophecies as he could, so he built this path of the shell to the tree. Brought the Arcana book here. And brought the Anone book here, which are the ones on either side of us. And claimed that it allowed him to travel through time back to the Dunny homeworld as it was, as it is, and as it would be. All of these things to fulfill the prophecies. Even the times of Dunny were significant because the Watcher claimed to see visions of the past, present, and future. So the path of the shell is how we get to that tree, which was built to honor the Watcher. People flocked to the place. Not only was it the only way to travel through time, but Kadish himself was the only one who could solve the spiral path of the shell and access the tree. Nightly challenges were held. Seems nobody else ever did. He bragged that the Watcher clearly spoke of how to solve the room in his prophecies, and that anyone could find the solution there in his prophecies. Ran the sanctuary up to the end. So, the spiral path room, that's where we were pushing the ball. Okay, not a big puzzle guy, but the room seems very confusing. A switch closes the door and turns on the light, and some mechanism releases the ball back to its starting point. There are numbers scratched into the walls of the maze as well. Oddly, there is no physical access to or from the city that surrounds the building. We know the building is up in Chitari, a nice district. There's definitely no way to get in from the outside and vice versa. Not sure if Kadish sealed it up or if it always was, but I would bet the second idea. Okay. So that does not have the information that I was led to believe it would have, which is interesting. Unless there's another book somewhere that I am forgetting about or never found. So interesting. In fact, so interesting that I am going to take a break and try to confirm this, because that really didn't tell us what I was expecting it to tell us. So, hold, please. Okay, I'm back. I reread what was there in the Universal Hint System, and I also double-checked, tried to look up what writings actually exist in this game for the Watcher Sanctuary. It is, in fact, just that one book. Upon rereading it, I think there's a lot of assumption being made in the guidance. The stuff that it's saying is more about imagining the situation rather than there being any actual story or actual notes explicitly referring to the fact that they were going to Annone to time travel. And they were doing it with this specific method. The way I read that, I was expecting that I had completely forgotten reading about removing all life from the island, which would have been entirely possible, but okay, anyway. There shouldn't be anything else left for us to be doing in this area. He mentions that there's numbers all over the maze, but I believe the maze is... I don't know what exactly the maze is. Numbers scratched into the walls of the maze as well. It's in the same paragraph as talking about that spiral path with the ball. But we looked. I didn't see any numbers scratched there. Did you? Should I go do that and see if there was something that I missed? Or are the numbers that are being scratched into the walls these numbers? They're not exactly scratched. They're more like pasted on pieces of paper. In which case, everything that we've been going around is the maze. Oof. Look how strong I am stopping that boulder. It's dark. Not so dark that I can't see the walls. Dark enough that I can't see some of the walls. But the idea that there's numbers scratched in to the walls of a maze. And he made that reference here in the paragraph about this. How blind am I? Or is it just because Simpson was going off on tangents and whatnot, that it really was not associated with this particular area at all. We'll just go ahead and we will ignore it for now. But I just figured we were here. We were looking at that notebook and trying to refresh ourselves. Anyway, let us do this. In a way, this does make sense that you would need to get off of the island. You're not going back to that same island. It's a trick. The sensors... Son, are we inside that tower? I just put that together. We must be inside the tower. And so when it's not sensing anybody, when all those lights are off, it's changing the book here. So that would explain why we were not seeing any immediate change, why leaving the area and coming back didn't do anything. Oh, oops. Okay, well, we're doing that now that I know I can. This is how we solve puzzles in a Myst game. We just run into things. Just bash our head against stuff. Until something happens. Usually nothing happens. But, we're at the point in the game where it seems to be the solution for damn near everything, huh? So... don't do that. Game. Don't you ever do that. See, from this view, I can see that there is a path here. From this view, no, I can't. So we're just gonna ignore that for the moment because I'm just so head up. Alright. How do we get to you and smash you up there? Is this doing anything, or is this just making me feel better by breaking... you know... just give me a hammer and let me just smash up all this stuff in this game. So this would... oh. Yeah, how about that? Okay, so that is, in fact, also working here. And... yeah, okay. So these crystals are, in fact, something to break. It actually matters. How... Maybe this is supposed to be you break them all and that's how you get back? Or do we get a secret third version of the island? Let me just look again at this before we find out there's like one that I don't know where it is. Okay, you are here. We know that one. That's right there. This one... don't know, actually. Could be another thing where it's over here on this tower, or it's just hidden around somewhere that I... Okay, the fact that that worked is... not seeing anything. Just stay on the high ground in case Anakin shows up. Be ready for him. I'm thinking about how we got here. And I'm asking myself over and over. And that goes for a lot of the times where I get stuck in these games. But really, really happening a lot with Uru is me asking myself, would I ever have been able to figure this out? And I'm not sure if I would have. With the book, you know, you have to use that specific book and whatnot. Like I said, it makes sense. Okay, now I can kind of see once I'm under the fog. But yeah, it makes sense after the fact. The functionality of that, fine. But connecting that functionality to what I was doing on the island, connecting that functionality to not understanding why nothing was happening, not knowing what I was even looking for. Even rereading the journal there, talking about traveling through time, I only associated that with this island because of the universal hint system. To me, it seemed way more about the sanctuary, and maybe about both ages. I don't think I've done anything that would make me think I was traveling through time in the other age. But I don't know. I just don't feel like I would have ever gotten to the point that I was expected to get to. I'm stuck? No, I'm not. Okay. So I feel frustrated both with the game and myself. Because I just... Is it the design of this game that's just really... You know, is it not good? Is it fair to say that? Is it me that's the problem? I don't know. I like to think that I'm not awful at games and awful at puzzle solving. I like to think I have a brain somewhere in there. But then something comes along like this, and it's just... I don't know, we run around for an hour and get nothing done. And... Oh, okay. Secret Island number 3 was, in fact, not a joke. Okay. So... there may be a question here about if I feel like nothing happened, if I feel like I'm not doing a good job, why even post the videos? Why leave so much unedited? You know, like, why leave so much in? Why not just scrap a video or something and just get to the answer? It's kind of how it was with Outer Wilds, where that was a puzzle adventure game and I had to put pieces together, and a lot of time I didn't do a very good job of that, in my opinion. Beat myself up about that. And I beat myself up about this. But it is supposed to be about the journey. It's not so much about watch me solve this, you know, watch me tell you what the answer is, watch me get there really easy. It's about watch the gears in my head turn, watch my perspective on how I'm playing this game and how I'm perceiving things, it's about the journey, not the destination. And I can feel a little bit embarrassed about that journey, I guess, is what's going on here, but I still think it's the point. Am I making any sense? For all the pain, all the stupidity, all the frustration, like right now, how I don't know how to not fall to my death. That you're just on this journey with me, where we figure it all out together. And all the good and the bad, we're just putting it out there for everybody to just document. Because if we only ever show the good, then what does the good even mean without the context of reality that surrounds it? I didn't come here just to leave, did I? It doesn't quite seem... But we'll do it. And then we'll come back and see if there's something that I didn't catch. Okay, we've come full circle. We've come full circle, but now what? Was there more to find there? Maybe this is gonna do something for me? I don't know. I miss Chi-Chi. For what it's worth, I'm sorry that I get frustrated, and I'm sorry that I beat myself up a lot for this stuff. I do like to be good at games, and I do like to offer a bit better showing than I am sometimes. It's that perfectionist nature that I've never been able to shake. And I'm sorry for getting all, like, super real here right now. Being quite honest and vulnerable with you guys. But, again, the context of reality. Now, we did get a journey cloth for this section. Over there on that tower. But there was nothing at the tower. While we're here, I'm just gonna check again. And there we are. Just give that hog a moment to settle so I don't just run off the edge. So we come around the back, and this doesn't have that inset that it does on the sunny version of the island. Also doesn't have the, we'll call it a map on the side. So what would a journey cloth be for on the side of a tower that we can do nothing at? I mean, you can consider it a shortcut, a waypoint, but that's a hell of a waypoint, isn't it? It's like, oh, let me get back. Let me make some progress. Let me skip ahead a little bit. I'll go to the tower in the middle of a fog where I have to very carefully walk across a platform that is very hard to see to get back to this main section. So we'll go back to the third and see what there was to do that I wasn't quite grasping. You know, at least some progress is being made. I do like feeling that sense of progression, and that was another thing that really stuck with me in Outer Wilds as well, where you can kind of feel like, okay, in this amount of time, I have these, like, hard accomplishments. You know, like these definitive things that I can definitely say I did. And in Outer Wilds, that was structured in a way kind of like Myst, and kind of like the Myst series, including Uru, where I didn't have like those clear markers of being able to say, well, in this time I was able to accomplish this. I was getting pieces of a puzzle, which I'm doing now as well, and not knowing what to do with them. And you might say, well, you know, getting the pieces of the puzzle is in and of itself progression. But when it doesn't feel like you even are getting a whole puzzle piece, it's hard to feel that accomplishment. But, like, right now, at the end of the last video where we were chasing the crabs off, I would say that now I know was a puzzle piece. At the time, I wasn't so sure. And now we are connecting that puzzle piece to another puzzle piece. We've made it to the second version of the island. We were able to smash all the crystals, connecting those puzzle pieces together, and now we're here. So looking at it like that, I do feel like there's some progression. But then we're here, and now it's like, what? I don't think we're supposed to be looking towards the outside. I do note that I'm not seeing any kind of tower or anything. Not that we'd be able to get to it anyway. I mean... This is dangerous, this side. Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to be looking outward. I think we're supposed to be looking inward and trying to get to this. So, I could, in theory, jump here. But then what? I could, in theory... This looks like too big of a gap to clear. This is why I came over here instead of... Because when you're looking at it from the other perspective, they looked like they could be closer. But that does not necessarily look like I'd be able to... Jerry's got ups, but he don't have those ups, I don't think. So let me just try to look around. This looks like it's close. And it's further along. You know, we have the horseshoe. We start over on this side. The solution wouldn't be right where you start in this section. You kind of gotta go. You work for it. Right? We're talking about that game design. Thinking like, if I were to make a game... There's a big gap again. Yeah, we're not clearing that. Be careful. You know, talking about Outer Wilds and the Myst games, this really making me think a lot of Outer Wilds. Oh, let me... Why this is so treacherous. Okay. I'm not seeing anything. I'm really not. Play a game called What Happens When We Jump Off, I guess. If I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do it with some deliberation. Trying to get something else done. Seeing if there's a... something I can be doing to get closer to somewhere. Well, I guess we will see if Jerry's got ups. Jerry don't got ups. Huh. Now, let me see something. Okay. Okay. I guess what I would now attempt is another look at that tower to see if that's accessible because of what I've now done, which is see things. Like maybe the tower was shut because there was still, like, the sensors were still detecting stuff in the other versions. Like the crystal trees, they were, once I got rid of those, and the crabs, Now the tower is something I can do something there. Does it make sense? Does anything make sense? And I'm supposed to complete this age before I can do anything else in the other age. I still see that down there. Am I really think this is bad. If I'm gonna have doubts on who's really at fault here for this and that, me or the game, I think this is bad. Swimming, am I doing it wrong? I don't think I am. I really don't. That you have to really fight against that current and have no visual on where the hell you are. That just does not seem like a good idea. Okay. Well, I'm out of ideas, so we will go to the Universal Hint System and see what kind of fan fiction they've got for us this time. Okay, I do not understand just yet. Nothing has clicked in my head about what the Universal Hint System is suggesting. But let us play around a little bit, I guess. Okay, we're back here at... Oh! What? Oh! Hey! That's... interesting. Okay. What do I do with this information? Why did it take me back there instead of... somewhere else? Okay. I guess when I fell to my death, it reset me back here, because we used the linking book and it took us back to the other version. Secret Island number 3. So we know that's how that works. Actually, let me confirm something. Let me confirm that if I go back, it's going to take me to that same version right now. Okay. And then, presumably, if I were to use the journey cloth, it would take me over to that tower. So, if I go to the third version, where there is no tower, and I use the journey cloth, where is it gonna take me? So I'm not worried about getting over here. But I do want to just kind of look out before we check out. Okay, I have a feeling about this place. We do this. And we use the journey cloth. See if I'm right about where I'm going to end up. Okay. So now we have a new waypoint. Let's say this is the tower. Now, if I use this waypoint in the other versions, that might be putting me inside the tower. How does that sound? And we know the best way to get back to the first version. No. Hold. Okay. Wait. No. Something did not go how I was expecting it to. Why did that, What did I reset it myself? I thought it happened because I died, or fell off, you know? Well, okay. That's easily rectified by just doing what we're doing now. I will say that while the mechanic of the different linking books makes sense out here in the ages, with the area for the transporting and whatnot with the book, makes sense. What doesn't make sense is why my book at my Relto is changing. I'm sure somebody will be able to tell me, explain that to me. But for right now, I can't see the logic. Oh. Oh, okay. Was pitch black for me. Don't know if it would have been for you. There we go. Are these ladders? They are. Okay. And now, what else do we have to play with? Okay, so that has 2 states. I'm gonna climb. See what happens at the top. These would be the lights that I was seeing. If the... Wow. Okay, be that way, game. But yeah, these were the lights that I was seeing from the outside. And we can see through a little thing up there, but that's about it. Okay, let me see what we got going on out here. Do a little lap. Then go back in. Do another little lap. I was trying to see if there was anything I'd be able to understand for what that crank or valve is doing. Save it. Save it. Okay, good. Because we're turning it one way and the other way. I cannot tell what it's doing, if anything. I mean, obviously it's doing something, but I can't tell. I'm unable to perceive enough of my surroundings. So, when they were designing this, did they think it was a good idea to have like this really slow climb up the ladder just to look out a window? I cannot reclose that. I thought that maybe that would have something to do with this ladder in particular. But no. Oh, jeez. Now I can't remember which ladder I went up. I also can't remember which state that valve was in to begin with. Okay, we were up that one. For the one behind me. Okay. Also, now that I think about it... No, never mind. The first switch that I hit once I was in here... I was like, what was that for? But it did turn on the lights in here. But I am gonna see if I can touch it again. No, I can't. Oh, wait. Yes, I can. Okay. Maybe it didn't turn on the lights in here. Everything was just really dark. So what is this doing? I'm going to play around with this a little bit longer, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Hey, never mind, because I can't seem to find any way to trigger that switch anymore. I can't find the spot. So, that's... Okay. So... broke it, I guess. Maybe a reload of the game would fix it. Or it's just supposed to be like that. I don't know. I really don't. But one last thing I'm going to do before we close out is just check what happens if I use that journey cloth in the middle version of the island. Alright. Let us just see what happens. Ooh, a new one. Okay, let's take a picture of that and add it to our list. I think this is number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, number 12. Okay, so 3, 6, 6. I am starting to develop a theory on what these are relating to. Not ready to reveal it just yet. Okay, there's nothing here on the walls. Do anything. Oddly enough, what is the point of the ladder if you can't reach the ladder? In all of the versions of this tower. The other one I was going to say, well, there is the door there, but there's no door here. So, what up with that? Coming up these ladders to see something. But I have no idea what they want from me with that. There's nothing that I'm able to go like, oh, look at that. Check this one, and then we'll check the other one, and we'll call this an episode, okay? And hopefully I can figure out what pieces I've got and how to put them together for the next episode. Yes. Okie dokie. I got nothing. But hopefully I'll have something next time when I will see ya. Okay? So, I love ya. Mwah. Bye-bye.